everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I am a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels. And I recently took over as the YouTube manager for the agency. And I am so excited to bring to you tonight something that we are planning to have be a yearly tradition here on our channel. And that is our Marvelous Mouse Madness tournament. We all know what's happening in the world of sports in the month of March. And so, building off of that enthusiasm and that excitement, we are hoping to start our own madness style tournament where we are going to be with you working together to try and decide what is the best Disney World resort restaurant. So if you are familiar with Disney World at all, you probably already know that some of the best dining that you're going to find at Disney World is not necessarily in the parks. There are great restaurants in the parks, but some of the very best restaurants are actually outside the parks at the Disney Resort hotels. And so we are going to be choosing the best overall Disney World Resort Hotel restaurant. Both quick service and table service, including character meals, are going to be part of this bracket. And so to help me reveal this bracket to you tonight, and also to explain a little bit about how we seeded the restaurants and chose the restaurants that are going to be part of this tournament, I have my better half, who is my husband, Evan, who's going to join me here, and he's going to help with some of the tech stuff in the background as well. So Evan, thank you for carving out part of your Sunday to help with this.
Absolutely. This is going to be a lot of fun. And let us know in the comments, as we go through these, what you think about these different restaurants. This is always a good time. Ginger recently, as finishing up a tournament on her YouTube channel, youtube.com/GingerMMT. And we did best table service restaurants. Well, 6 of the Elite 8 were Disney Resort restaurants. And so we said, well, why don't we do for the agency, we'll do this, and I'll show you the bracket here. So a whole tournament based solely on the resort restaurants.
Yeah.
And that's what we have here. Jen, you want me to zoom in and start going through the bracket with everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everybody knows, before we dive into some of the details about this, we are going to be voting on these matchups starting tomorrow. And the voting will take place in the stories on the Marvelous Mouse Travels Instagram and Facebook accounts. So if you are not following Marvelous Mouse Travels on Instagram and Facebook and you want to participate in the voting, be sure and give those a follow today so that when the stories go live tomorrow and you get to choose, you can, be ready to go to submit your vote. So let's dive right into the bracket here.
And just so everybody knows, the way that we seeded this was, like Ginger mentioned earlier, so we took 32 of the resort restaurants.
And there are way more than that that are available.
There sure are. So we took 32 of them. We put them into that we felt like were probably the most popular places at each resort. And we put them into that spinning wheel. I think it's called wheelofnames.com.
Yep.
And we spun it and we let it put the matchups up. So it's totally random draw. But we'll zoom in and we'll go to the top left corner first. So the first matchup that we drew was Rick Sports Bar and Grill going up against Boatwright's Dining Hall. So Rick Sports is at Coronado Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Boatwright's is at Port Orleans Riverside. Okay, that's what I thought. Good.
Yep.
The second matchup, and I'm going to let Ginger explain this because she's been to this one. I have not. Hoop-de-Doo Review, musical review against Maya Grill.
Mm-hmm.
Maya Grill is also at Coronado Springs.
It is, yes.
But Ginger, can you tell everybody about Hoop-de-Doo Review, what that is?
Yeah, so Hoop-de-Doo Review is basically a themed dinner show. So you are treated to a really fun, interactive stage show with a lot of singing and joking around. It's very audience-centric, so the audience is invited to participate in different parts of it. And then you are treated to a family-style meal. So they bring out lots of different barbecue, kind of home-style cooking. And this is over at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. And it's a lot of fun. So if you have never gotten the chance to do Hoop-de-Doo Review, it's definitely worth checking out.
Then we got Chef Mickey's and Jiko. So Chef Mickey's probably the most iconic classic character meal. and then Jico. Can you let everybody know where they can find those two restaurants, Jen?
So Chef Mickey is located at Disney's Contemporary Resort, and that is right on the Magic Kingdom monorail line. In fact, you can see the Contemporary from Tomorrowland in the Magic Kingdom from certain rides. Like if you're in line for the People Mover, you'll look up and you can see the Contemporary. Jico is over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is, of course, in the Animal Kingdom Resort area. That resort is fantastic as well. It has its own private savannah that is just for hotel guests to check out, and you can see zebras and giraffes and all kinds of different animals over there. And so Jico is one of several table service locations over there.
And then to round out this region, we've got Captain Cook's, which is a quick service restaurant in the Polynesian Resort, going up against Cape May Cafe, which is at Disney's Beach Club.
Yes.
And so there's another character meal there in Cape May Cafe. So 2 character meals out of these 8 resorts restaurants in this region.
Mm-hmm.
Ginger, am I correct in that Captain Cook's is the only quick service restaurant in this region?
So far, yes. So technically, Rick's is technically table service, although it does operate a little bit more like a quick service. It's not as hard to get a walk-up reservation there. Cape May Cafe as well is only a character meal at breakfast. Later in the day, it's not going to have characters present, whereas Chef Mickey is a character meal all the time. Doesn't matter what meal you're having there, you're going to see those characters.
So the winner of that region will end up playing the winner of this region.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off with Sebastian's Bistro at Disney's Caribbean Resort, going up against Trattoria Al Forno at the Boardwalk.
Yep. And these are both, I think, somewhat underrated restaurants. They're both really easy to access because if you are anywhere on the Skyliner line, you can easily get to either one of these. So
that's a great point.
Yeah, so they share that in common, that they're easy to access from the Skyliner. Trattoria Al Forno is obviously Italian food, just you can probably tell from the name. Sebastian's Bistro is themed after Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, and because it is at Caribbean Beach Resort, it does have that kind of Caribbean flair in the menu as well. So both of these are great choices, both table service. It'll be interesting to see those two go head to head.
So you brought up a really good point there, and I was going to ask you to explain this at the end, but now I'm going to ask you to explain it now too. Okay. And then I'll also ask you again later on. Yeah. You mentioned both of these restaurants, Sebastian's Bistro and Trattoria Al Forno, are both on the Skyliner line.
Yes.
When we think about, as we're voting for these different restaurants and we're looking at best resort restaurant.
Yes.
What are some of the criteria that we should use when we're considering how to vote? Is accessibility one of the criteria we should use?
I think so. I think that obviously when you're trying to rank a restaurant, number one thing you got to consider is the food. That's kind of an integral part of any dining experience is the food. I think we also need to think about atmosphere or experience. So is this a pleasant atmosphere? If characters are there, is that a pleasant interaction? I think we also need to think about value. Am I getting a good return on my monetary investment? Is this meal worth what I'm paying for it? And then I also think that we have to think about location. How easy is it for me to access this restaurant? So I would keep those 4 criteria in mind, the food, the overall experience and atmosphere, the value, and the location.
Well, that leads into our next matchup, which in my opinion is a tough matchup. Yeah.
This one's going to be
very hard. Ale and Compass at the Yacht Club going up against California Grill at the top of Disney's Contemporary Resort. What do you think about that matchup?
Well, I have a soft spot for both of these locations. These are places that we go as a family pretty regularly when we travel to Disney World. Ale and Compass is, I think, a hidden gem. A lot of people, they probably have seen it if they're walking through the lobby of the Yacht Club, but they may never have tried it. And the food here, no matter what meal you're there for, if you're there for brunch, if you're there for dinner, The menu is excellent. We've tried lots of different things. None of them have ever been bad. Like I've never had a bad meal at Ale and Compass. And the same is true for California Grill. I mean, California Grill is at the top of Disney's Contemporary Resort. It has a spectacular fireworks view. It is just it's a very interesting menu, lots of interesting things to try. And yet the food is not so over the top interesting that if you're a pickier eater that you can't find something. So I love both of these locations and think that this is a really tough matchup, especially for round one.
And if you're watching right now, or if you're watching this on replay, let us know if you've ever been at California Grill at night watching the fireworks while you ate. It is absolutely incredible. So let us know in the comments your experience with the fireworks viewing from California Grill.
Absolutely.
Now, this next matchup is maybe the most lopsided matchup.
Yeah, these restaurants are nothing alike.
Yeah. So this, once again, this was totally random. We put it in wheelofnames.com and just spun the wheel and let it, choose the matchups for us. And this one is quite intriguing because, I mean, literally total opposite ends of the spectrum here. You got Whispering Canyon, which is in Disney's Wilderness Lodge, going up against Citricos, which is an incredibly nice restaurant in the Grand Floridian. What do you think about that matchup?
I mean, they really are nothing alike. So, Whispering Canyon is a guest favorite. I think a lot of people, particularly people who go to Disney World a lot, or maybe who stay near or at the Wilderness Lodge, have tried this one. And it's known for its kind of interactive dining experience where the waiters and waitresses kind of joke around with you a little bit. It's very much, it's not a place for introverts. I would say, no, that's not necessarily true. Obviously, with any Disney restaurant like that, if you can let your server know you don't want to participate, they're going to honor that request. But, it's definitely a place where it's a little bit of a show element. Whereas Citricos is just a nice restaurant, and so it just depends on the type of dining experience that you're looking for. The food is great at both, though. Again, just great in different ways.
And then this last matchup, we have a monorail resort matchup going on here. Ohana, which is a crowd favorite in the Polynesian with Steakhouse 71 and Contemporary. Do you think Steakhouse 71 is somewhat of an underrated restaurant at Disney World?
Absolutely. I love Steakhouse 71. This is at the Contemporary Resort, down on the bottom level, right next to the check-in desk. It is so good for every meal. I mean, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's delicious. It's, pretty reasonably priced, particularly for a Disney restaurant. And it also has it pays homage to Disney World history. So as you're entering Steakhouse 71, off to your right, there's just a wall of photographs that is everything, from the building of the Contemporary Resort itself. There's some pictures of Walt kind of, scouting out the land for Disney World. So I love that the Contemporary has done that in their kind of retheming, not even retheming, just kind of freshening up the decor. They've kind of leaned into the mid-century modern kind of history of Disney and the time frame in which Disney World was built, and Steakhouse 71 very much is a part of that. But Ohana is a classic for a reason. I mean, people love this restaurant. I have many clients who want to eat here every single time they go to Disney World. For a lot of people, they feel like they haven't been to Disney if they haven't eaten at Ohana. And I totally get that. It is right at the Polynesian. You can look out the window while you're eating and see Cinderella Castle. It is pretty magical. And if you, time it right and you're able to score a window seat, that location also has a fireworks view at dinner. So, that's pretty special.
And I didn't even realize this until just now as I'm sitting here looking at this region. 5 of the 8 restaurants in this region are from Magic Kingdom area resorts.
Yeah.
So it speaks highly of Magic Kingdom.
It does.
That the area resorts there with the different restaurant options, but that is the battle of magic right there. Battle of Magic Kingdom.
That's right.
So when we go to the other side of the bracket, we'll go up to the top right corner, and woo, buddy, immediately we got some fan favorites right up at the top.
This is hard for me.
So first matchup in this region, Beaches and Cream against Grand Floridian Cafe. Beaches and Cream at the Beach Club and Grand Floridian Cafe. Ginger, can you explain the I guess the lure or the draw to Beaches and Cream? Why so many people love it.
Yes. So Beaches and Cream is a soda shop. And so it is themed like a classic 1950s beachside soda shop with, of course, a Disney touch. So a lot of they rethemed this restaurant not too long ago, and a lot of the artwork, has Mickey and Minnie sharing a milkshake or something like that. It's very cute. But the food there is going to be classic diner style food. So grilled cheese and tomato soup, hamburgers, patty melts, hot dogs, that type of thing. But what Beaches and Cream is really known for is their ice cream. They have fantastic ice cream. Probably their most iconic ice cream option is their kitchen sink, which is literally every flavor of ice cream that they have with every topping that they have with a whole can of whipped cream on top. And a whole can. And anytime anyone orders the kitchen sink, they turn off the overhead lights in the restaurant. They have these little blinky lights, and the server brings it out and announces which families ordered it. And they say, what all's in it? And say, and a whole can of whipped cream. And everybody in the restaurant goes, a whole can. Like, it's just kind of a very engaging atmosphere there. But the kitchen sink is in literally a giant bowl that looks like a kitchen sink, and it's a lot of ice cream. We tried to split one between the two of us with our two kids, and even all four of us together, we could not possibly have finished it. So you could split that thing. It was our Everest. You could split this thing between easily 6 or 7 people and still probably have ice cream left over.
Absolutely. And Grand Floridian Cafe, fan favorite.
Yeah.
Still wishing they would bring back their lobster thermidor burger, but that's neither here nor there.
They do have a killer fried chicken with bacon vinaigrette on top of it, which is what I get every time. These are amazing. These restaurants,
and New York strip steak is really good there too.
The New York strip is amazing. These two restaurants are two of my favorite. So personally, this one would be hard. I'm not voting in this, but part of it would be hard for me to choose between these two.
Well, you can vote because you didn't see them or anything.
I guess I technically could, but
I'm voting.
I'd rather let people decide.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to vote. Like, this is exciting.
It is.
Now, this next restaurant, you might recognize the name Boma. That's obviously Animal Kingdom Lodge. But if you're wondering, Three Bridges, where is that? That's actually over at Coronado Springs.
Yeah. Coronado is a great restaurant for food, whether you're talking about table service or you're talking about quick service. I love to eat at Coronado because I love Mexican food. But Three Bridges is right over the water. Coronado Springs it surrounds a body of water, and there's literally 3 bridges that meet. And at the meeting of those 3 bridges is this restaurant. So it's kind of like, water top dining, if you will. And so it's open air. It's very breezy. I mean, it feels like you're eating at like a beachside diner at like an all-inclusive resort or something like that. Is the type of feel that it has. But Three Bridges, you don't need a reservation. You could just walk up and enjoy it, but you're going to get a little higher quality food than what you would get at maybe a quick service or something like that. So it's a really great location. And Boma is a buffet at Animal Kingdom Lodge. This is actually probably our son's favorite restaurant at Disney World, and we've eaten at a lot of them. And this is the one that he asks to come back to year after year, because Boma has a great variety of food, and it's a safe way for kids to be adventurous. Like, they're not committing to just one entree that's maybe something they wouldn't order. They can try lots of different things, but they're still chicken fingers or French fries or something like that. So
there's a fallback plan.
Yeah, there's a fallback plan. So we love that restaurant. And again, this is another one that's good for breakfast, lunch, dinner. It doesn't matter. They're all good.
That is a fantastic point. I've never really thought about it like that, but you're right, because it is a safe place to try to be of interest, because you do have the old reliables there as well, if they're not liking the new stuff. So that's a great point.
Absolutely.
Well done, madam. Well done.
Thank you.
When you mentioned it's open air and breezy, I don't know why, and it's totally off topic, but the first thing that came to my mind was Monica from Friends going, "I'm
I'm
breezy."
breezy. Yep.
You can't say you're breezy, and that negates the breezy.
Absolutely.
So then the next restaurant
Oh,
matchup
hold
we
on. We
got
got a
here. Oh,
comment up here that I think
yeah.
we missed. Let's see
Let's
that
see.
one.
I got it here. Nancy. Nancy said, "Welcome, Nancy. We're glad you're with us." She said, "I haven't been to Bowman in a long time, but I need to plan another visit. My older son is starting to try new things, so this is a great place for that."
Yes, absolutely. When kids reach that age where they want to start trying things, lean into it so they're not eating pizza and chicken fingers for the rest of their life.
Totally agree. And just like Ginger said, if they try the new stuff there and
They don't
it's
like
not
it.
their cup of tea, then they
Got a
got
background.
absolutely. Thank you, Nancy, for joining us. That is awesome. We're so glad you're with us. We love it when people comment. That's what makes this fun.
Absolutely.
Let's see. The next matchup we have Kona Cafe. Is it safe to say that Kona Cafe is a sister restaurant to Ohana? Is that fair?
Yes, because they actually share a kitchen. So very much so. And they're right next door to each other.
They're right next door to each other.
Yeah.
Second floor, the lobby in the Polynesian Resort.
Yep.
Going up against a fan favorite, Topolino's Terrace.
I love this restaurant.
Topolino's Terrace, you have a view of all 4 parks from the restaurant. Really, really neat place. Character meal at breakfast. I mean, that's going to be tough for Kona. I mean, Kona Cafe is great. We had the pasta there one time. It was so good.
I love Kona Cafe. In fact, between Kona Cafe and Ohana, personally, I prefer Kona Cafe. And a lot of the reason for that, Disney is great about food allergies. Like if you talk to them about it, they can always work with you. But at Ohana, I have a tropical fruit allergy. And so obviously
doesn't mix well with Ohana.
Polynesian restaurant, there's a lot of tropical fruit inspired dishes. And at Ohana, since everything's kind of family style and everything, even though I just feel a little bit, I guess, unsettled about that whenever I'm trying to enjoy that restaurant there. And again, they're great about food allergies, but at Kona Cafe, because I can order a la carte, I just feel a little bit more comfortable with that. And the food is delicious, and you still are getting to visit the Polynesian, and it's a little bit cheaper than Ohana too. So,
I had some kind of like shrimp pasta or something there one time, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was really good. But good luck, Kona Cafe, because you're trying to beat out Topolino's.
Oh, Topolino's, in my opinion, has the best character meal at Disney World. Like, not even close. I mean, by a mile, the food at Topolino's is better than every other character breakfast I've ever been to. And I love the atmosphere. I actually prefer dinner at Topolino's, even though there's no characters there, because just the food is great. It's just an excellent atmosphere. And again, you can have a fireworks view if you time it right, which I guess I really like that. I'm noticing a theme. I like being able to watch the fireworks while I'm enjoying dinner.
It's awesome. It's Disney magic.
Yeah.
So this next pair, now, if you've been keeping track, I've tried to keep track in my mind as we've gone through it, but if memory serves correctly, so far we have had 3 restaurants from Coronado Springs and 3 restaurants from the Polynesian.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the most of any resort so far.
I think so, yeah.
And if you're wondering, where is Toledo?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's actually at the top of Gran Destino Tower, which is part of what resort?
Coronado Springs. Yeah.
Coronado Springs.
Gran Destino Tower.
We have 4 restaurants from Coronado Springs on this bracket.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes to the quality of food at that resort. Yeah,
it's a great restaurant for foodie, or a great resort for foodies. Also, too, one thing I love about Gran Destino Tower in particular is that specific part of Coronado Springs is priced like a moderate hotel, but it feels very much like a deluxe hotel in a lot of ways. In fact, they even have club level rooms there. They're the only moderate resort that offers club level, options. So that's really great. And at the top of, Gran Destino Tower, which is very tall, you can go and eat at Toledo. So you're going to have some really beautiful views from up there as well. And this is just a beautiful location on the inside. It's a gorgeous restaurant.
And Olivia's Cafe, kind of a Disney hidden gem. Where is that, Ginger?
It's over at Old Key West Resort, which was the original villa style resort on property. And so Olivia's Cafe reminds me of like that great little mom and pop restaurant at the town where you've been going to the beach since you were a kid. Like that's just what Olivia's reminds
That's
me
a
of.
really good analogy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very quaint and it feels very homey, and you don't feel like you're at Disney World. Like you really do feel like you're in Key West, enjoying just a little local place. And they're known for their fried chicken, but they've got a whole bunch of delicious options besides just their fried chicken. Although their fried chicken is excellent.
So then in our last region, the last group of 8 resort restaurants here, we have Turf Club Bar and Grill going up against Narcoossee's.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Narcoossee's might be a little bit more familiar to people, but I'm willing to guess that some folks might be like Turf Club Bar and Grill. Where is that? Can you tell us about these?
Yes. So the Turf Club is at Saratoga Springs, which is actually next door neighbors with Old Key West. They're both in the Disney Springs resort area, along
You
with.
can ride a boat from the restaurant to Disney Springs, correct?
You can, and vice versa. And along with the Port Orleans resorts, which both also have boat access to and from Disney Springs. So Turf Club is, they have a lot of places where you can kind of sit. It feels like almost al fresco dining and have a little bit of a view of the Sassagoula River, which is, the waterway that runs between those resorts and Disney Springs. So, Saratoga Springs obviously is themed after Saratoga. So there's a lot of like horse racing nods and stuff like that. So it's you get a little bit of that at Turf Club as well. And Narcoossee's is at the Grand Floridian, and Narcoossee's is, again, waterfront dining, really bright and airy in there. Really, really interesting menu with a lot of great options. So Narcoossee's is a fan favorite too, for good reason.
Like you said, beautiful view of the whole, water resort area. You can see the Poly, you can see Grand Floridian from there. You can see the Magic Kingdom fireworks from there. Just a really, really neat view.
Yeah.
That's a great spot right there. And, Turf Club, you mentioned Saratoga and how, and I mentioned that you could ride a boat. Depending on where you're staying in Saratoga, you can actually just walk to Disney Springs. I mean, it's right next door in some situations. So as we move on to the next one, we got 1900 Park Fair. It's coming back, baby. It's coming back
next month. I'm so excited.
Pretty awesome.
1900 Park Fair, I believe, is our 4th. No. Yeah. Is this our 4th Grand Floridian?
Well, we got,
or is this our 3rd?
1900, Narcoossee's, Grand Floridian Cafe, Citricos.
Yeah.
So it's our 4th.
This is our 4th Grand Floridian resort. And again, the Grand Floridian is kind of the flagship Disney resort. So no wonder there's so many great dining options there. But 1900 Park Fair is a character meal. It has been closed since the pandemic, and they've been, renovating it, switching some things around, and they're going to reopen it next month. And I am so excited because I have always loved this particular location. They are known for, I'm seeing a comment come through on what I was just about to say. They are known for their strawberry soup, which is actually a cold
nailed it, Nancy.
soup, which sounds like it would be disgusting, but it's delicious. So you have to try the strawberry soup. But they have a great buffet. But the characters are what I'm excited for, really more than anything with the reopening of this restaurant, because let's see if I can remember all of them off the top of my head. They're going to have Cinderella. Of course, Cinderella's been a staple of this one.
So you know, the reason why Ginger's mentioning this is because the characters that were there previously are not going to be there from this point forward. Yes. They've changed the roster.
Yes, except for Cinderella. She was always there at dinner, and she'll still be there for everything now. And Tiana will now be there, which is very exciting. And Aladdin as Prince Ali will also be there, which is very exciting. Meeting princes at a character meal is pretty rare, so it's exciting to see them have Aladdin
very
there.
Rare.
And then lastly is Mirabelle from Encanto. And to my knowledge, this is the first Encanto character appearance at a character meal. They're in the parks, of course, but in a character meal, this is our first Encanto experience. So very excited about that. If your kids are like mine, they love Encanto, and so are very excited to get to meet Mirabelle. So that will be that will be a lot of fun when that comes
I
back.
wonder how many times per day Mirabelle will be asked something about Bruno, and somebody's going to say, "We don't
We
talk
don't
about
talk about
Bruno."
that. Yeah, we don't talk about
I guarantee I'm setting the over under at 30 times a day on
I
that.
would
I
say,
think
yeah.
probably even more, but probably take the over. But
Yeah.
that's going to be fun. Going up against 1900 Park Fair, going up against the pizza window at the boardwalk. So we have a quick service here.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that I absolutely love about Disney World. And we've talked about this a lot on Ginger's tournament she's got going on right now. Here's the thing. Notice all of these places we've talked about are in resorts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go into a park to have an incredible meal and dining experience at Disney World.
Yes.
And I'll just tell you what we did recently on one of our trips this past December. We rode a bus from our resort over to Hollywood Studios, and we got on the Skyliner at Hollywood Studios, and we rode the Skyliner is one of the funnest things to ride in all of Disney World.
It's my mom's favorite ride at Disney.
Yeah.
She'll tell you the Skyliner is her favorite ride.
So, we rode the Skyliner over to the boardwalk area, the back of International Gateway at Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
We got off there. We walked over to the pizza window at Boardwalk, ordered a pizza. We sat there on the boardwalk overlooking the water. It was getting like almost dusk, twilight time of night. So the lights were on really well. You could see all the string lights all the way around the water around Boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so simple, just the four of us eating pizza on the boardwalk, but it was so magical because it was beautiful there.
Yeah.
It was calm. It was peaceful. We could talk with each other. We sat there and we ate pizza out of a pizza box that had Disney characters on it, which was adorable. And then for dessert, we went and got ice cream at the Boardwalk ice cream place there, which, hey, get vanilla ice cream with peanut butter there.
It's really
You are
good.
welcome. You can thank me later. But we sat there and we ate that, and it was just, we were there for 3 days. We went to 2 parks on that trip, and when we left, we're on our way home, and we were talking in the car, like, what was your favorite thing we did? And Ginger and I both agreed the favorite thing we did was sitting there on the boardwalk eating pizza and ice cream, overlooking the beautiful water, overlooking all the pretty lights, the beach club, the yacht club across the way, the lighthouse.
Yeah.
It was magical, man. It was absolutely magical. And that just shows you don't have to be in a park to have an incredible time at Disney World, because there's so many fun things to do there.
And that's a question that we get a lot as agents is, can I eat at the resort restaurants if I'm not staying at the resort? And the answer is yes. I mean, absolutely you can. You don't have to be staying at the Contemporary to eat at Chef Mickey, or, staying at the Grand Floridian to eat at 1900 Park Fair. You can make a reservation for those restaurants, and you can go if you're staying anywhere, and you can still go and you can enjoy those restaurants. And in fact, if you have a reservation on file, you can park for a certain amount of time at the resorts for free during your dining reservation. And then, you can leave after it's over. And if you want to check out some of the quick service locations, you can make your way over to the resorts from a park, or you can go over and park at Disney Springs and ride a bus over to the resort that you want to check out. So you don't have to be a registered guest at the hotel to enjoy the hotel restaurants. Anyone can make a reservation for there, and you definitely should, because checking out the resorts, to me, is in a lot of ways as fun as being in the parks. I love the Disney hotels, and I love how themed they are, and I love all the different things there are to do and to look at. And that's, some of my
especially this
too.
time of year
Yeah.
and at Christmas.
Yeah,
because
sure.
right now you've got all the chocolate Easter egg displays and all the deluxe resorts at Christmas time. You've got all the gingerbread displays.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing. I forgot to mention that. You're exactly right. That's another thing we did after we ate pizza and ice cream there on the boardwalk. We went up into the boardwalk lobby and looked at the gingerbread display they have up there. And it was beautiful. It's huge. It was beautiful. Not as big as Grand Floridian, but it was huge. And it was really, really cool.
Yeah. And not that expensive. I mean, we didn't spend an arm and a leg on that pizza. So that was a fairly inexpensive, easy dinner, but it was a ton of fun.
So our last two matchups, we've got Yachtsman Steakhouse at the Yacht Club and Boardwalk Deli, shockingly, at the Boardwalk.
Yeah.
What do you think about that matchup, Jen? I think it's going to be pretty lopsided, but what
I
do
think
you
it's going
think?
to be pretty lopsided too. I mean, Boardwalk Deli, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just your kind of basic, quick service
Sure.
deli style thing. Yachtsman Steakhouse is a signature restaurant, known for great steaks. You're really nice atmosphere. You're going to have great service there. So I think that one will be probably not close, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows? I've been surprised before.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think. I mean, both great places to eat, but I mean, one of them is definitely a little bit,
probably a little bit higher caliber than the other, for sure.
For sure. But this last one,
this is gonna be hot.
If I'm being totally honest, this might be, there was that really intriguing one earlier we looked at, but this one, I don't know, man. This might be the most intriguing matchup because you have two places that are famous for a specific thing.
Yeah.
So Sanaa in Animal Kingdom Resort, overlooking the animals on the savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's a signature restaurant.
Absolutely. Storybook Dining at Artist Point, which is in Wilderness Lodge. It is, I don't even really like to call it a character meal because it's a character. You took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, it is exactly right. It is a whole deal, man. It is a whole experience. You get to go on like this whole
narrative journey, I guess.
Yeah, I almost said the word journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like even to the point of they bring out the box that the heart was supposed to have been in, and they have like caramel corn or something for you in the box, and like smoke comes out of it. I mean, you get to meet a villain at a character meal, which is very rare.
The only place you can do that right now.
Yeah. So, and Ginger knows this. If you asked me where the best meal at Disney World that I ever had was, it's at Storybook Dining. We had this thing, and I don't even remember what it's called, but it was amazing.
Yeah. He had it was some kind of like roasted pork something is what you got. I actually
ordered, melted in your mouth, man. It was amazing.
I ordered the vegetarian option, which was called a stroll through nature, and it was like gnocchi with it was delicious. I'm not a vegetarian, and I did not miss the fact that it didn't have meat in it. It was delicious, and would 100% order that again. So the food there is fantastic, but the food at Sanaa is also fantastic. Sanaa is known for their bread service in particular, so definitely something to check out if you're into bread, and really great bread and lots of different toppings for it. So I really think food wise, both of these are strong contenders, and they both have a great atmosphere. So this is going to be really hard.
It's going to be fascinating to see which restaurant pulls that out.
Yeah.
So as we zoom out and we look at the whole bracket, I think if we were to go back and count them up, surprisingly, well, this one doesn't surprise me, but two resorts had 4 restaurants in the bracket. Grand Floridian Cafe, not surprising. I mean, there's places there that we could have included that we didn't.
Yeah.
Like Victorian Alberts, but I mean, like it's
even the quick service location there's great.
Yeah, Gasparilla Grill. Yeah, so I mean, like there's places there we could have included that we didn't. And then if we had asked, well, what 2 resorts do you think will have the most restaurants? I don't know if anybody would have said Coronado Springs, but here they are.
Yeah.
They also have 4 restaurants in the field. So very exciting. I'm super excited about this. It's a lot of fun. Several restaurants had 3 places, or resorts had 3 places, but I'm fascinated to see who all you pick. I'm excited to pick them. And Ginger, can you remind everybody how they can vote? And then also remind everybody, like, what's the criteria as we go through and vote?
Yes. So again, voting criteria, first of all, food. Second of all, experience or atmosphere. Third of all, value. Fourth of all, location. So keep those 4 criteria in mind. Again, just a quick reminder of where you can vote. You need to follow Marvelous Mouse Travels either on Facebook or Instagram, or both if you want to vote twice. We are not checking, so you can vote twice if you want to. But follow both accounts, and in the stories is where you will find the opportunity to vote. So our social media manager, Chelsea, shout out to Chelsea, is helping me out with this. She is posting those stories for me. And, you know, she and I are working together, collaborating on this. So we will have that ready for you all to vote starting tomorrow, which is Monday if you're not watching this. Yes. And so make sure that you are following Marvelous Mouse Travels on Instagram and on Facebook. And we will reveal the winner of this first round live. Again, we'll be back here on this channel live at 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. And so we will actually, no, it's not 8 p.m. I believe it is 7 p.m. Is that correct, Devin? 7 p.m. Eastern?
Sounds good to me.
So we'll do this at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night, and we will post, you know, reminders and everything on our channel as well. So make sure that you are subscribed to our channel if you're not already, so that you don't miss the notifications for when we are planning to go live and when we are actively live. And also make sure that you're following Marvelous Mouse Travels on Facebook, Instagram, or both, because that's where you're going to do your voting. And we're going to kind of alternate every other day until we get all the way through the bracket. So it'll be vote, reveal, vote, reveal, vote, reveal, all the way along until eventually we have our winner of the best Disney World hotel restaurant. So I'm excited about this. I hope you all are excited about it too. Again, what makes this as fun is people's voting and people getting involved and commenting and things like that. So even if you are not watching us live, if you're catching this on replay, still pop those comments in there. And especially if you have questions about any of these restaurants, we would love to answer those for you. So feel free to pop those comments up there, and we will get to those as soon as we can. But again, thank you all so much for watching with us tonight. We hope that you enjoyed this and that you're excited for Marvelous Mouse Madness like we are. And we will see you guys again really soon to reveal this first round winners. So thanks for watching.
Have a great evening, everybody.